What you thinking, man?
I've been in the polyamory love style. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now.
Okay.
And the mindset for me is mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it because I've always felt that this like monogamy just doesn't fit for me. Right. I don't understand why I have to only love one person or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard is supposedly is?
Right.
And then the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. You know, I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, you know, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You know, you start thinking about, well, damn, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. So, you know, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, this complicates things for us men because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told, don't do that.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we even thought, you know, why doesn't my father like that? Is that a protection for me?
Right.
Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
No, but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time they are like absolutely. So if we don't understand that, all we know is a rejection.
You see, like what I understand with my father,
men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes black male from the home. That's white women. Because after a while, it was run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. You know, at one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman. No matter what their social economical status was, white women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, you know, I know, you know, I mean, you hit it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So you
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. You know, it means I got your back. It means we're doing it together. It means I'm not gonna walk away when things get hard. You know, that's providing, right? I'm gonna provide emotional protection so that you can, you know, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, you know. So there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, you know, men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids, and I was about 25 when I met my ex-husband and stuff like that.
All righty, and let the show begin. What's happening out there, y'all? DJ Black once again. Speak on It podcast, 2K24. And it's just another day to be blessed. You know what I'm saying? Another day to be amongst the living, to be moving around. Many didn't make it. So, gonna jump right into it. Big talk. A lot of people were saying, I don't see why it was such a surprise, but at the BET Awards, I just gotta touch up on it. They talking about it, so I gotta speak about it. But Kendrick Lamar, shout out to Kendrick. He swept the awards. You know what I'm saying? But who didn't know that is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? That was expected. You know who didn't know that. So yeah, he cleaned up at the BET Awards, and of course, every year the BET Awards lately has been getting more trashier and trashier. And this year, nevertheless, needless to say, it was no different. It was a hot mess out there. Entertainment is not what it used to be. I don't think we'll ever get the good entertainment like it was. I think back when Nelly and all them was doing that thing. So it is what it is. But of course, Kendrick Lamar was expected to sweep the any award show. You diss at the time the hottest rapper in the game, hottest artist in the game. You dissed him, and you just happen to get a fire track behind it. That's nothing but success. So of course, anybody is not only did Drake lose to Kendrick, every artist who was mentioned in the category that had that Not Like Us song or the song with Metro Boomin them like that or whatever, whoever was mentioned in the same breath of that song lost. So it is what it is. Okay. But my thing is, what's next for Kendrick? You made that bubblegum song, you stepped out of your consciousness and made that song, made you a bop. Now you're ready to get back to your conscious music. But you woke up and gained new stands with this Not Like Us club kind of up-tempo bop joint. Now you're ready to get back to your conscious. So let's just see how that goes. Sometimes your biggest hits can be your biggest downfall. So congratulations though to Kendrick for winning that. He had an amazing year. And I'm waiting on the album. I'm waiting on the Super Bowl to be over with. Waiting on the album, and I'm ready to get back to real music. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I stand on that. I'm ready for Drake to come out with his album. I'm waiting to see what Kendrick's album going to do with his new success, what angle he's going to take. So I'm curious to see some things. But I'm going to get into the show, and then y'all know the election is coming up. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of the election, my man George created kind of a little ruckus last week. He went public and voiced his opinion and been getting a lot of feedback on his views and what he thinks about this upcoming election. And I can't argue with him. He has some valid points. And like I say, it's gonna either be his story, meaning Trump, or everybody gonna vote for it to make history, which is letting Kamala in there. And because to me, neither one of those two are really hitting on the views that I want to hear about. The abortion they talking about, you know what I'm saying? They ain't really hitting on nothing that I want them to hit on. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a mud slinging mud instead of breaking down views and the policy. So I'm not that excited about this upcoming election at all. But I think Kamala is about to be in Atlanta, and I think if Trump hasn't already come, he's about to be in Atlanta as well. So they're campaigning hella hard, and they're going to hit all these southern states because Trump trying to turn them from blue to red. I mean, yeah. So it's going to be interesting, but I'm not as excited about this one for some reason. So, Georgie George, what's happening with you?
Shoot, nothing much. How everybody doing this evening?
Yeah, we chilling.
Talking about the election, I just expressed my thoughts.
Yeah,
and a lot of people what's so bad is that people don't listen. They don't listen for context. They don't listen for the meat of my message. At no point did I say I was supporting Trump. What I said was we can't let Kamala get in there and sit black men back another 50 years. Because that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and they took
You're gonna help black women. You're gonna help black women, but she's gonna take her shit out on us because she mad now. See, now she mad because we ain't supporting her. We ain't buying that into that fake black woman narrative. She gonna take it out on us, bro. We don't need to let that woman get in the White House nowhere near. I ain't saying Trump no better, but it's 3 other folks running: Cornel West, Chase Oliver, and Dr. Jules Stein. You got other choices. But they're gonna mess it up. They're gonna vote for the history mess and mess this country up and set us back. Because all Bobby didn't do nothing for black folks. He did everything for the LGBTQ. Didn't advance black folks. Every brother I know had more money under Trump. Not saying you vote for Trump, vote whoever the hell you want to. But I'm just saying, Kamala gonna set us back. She already can't think. She already ain't quick on her feet. She gonna crack up under the pressure. She can't handle it. She can't handle it. It's gonna be disastrous for our country. But if folks want to vote for it and folks want to be on all this woke mess and keep doing it and mess up this country even more, let them have it. Let them do it.
Yep. So it's gonna be interesting.
Oh yeah.
But she kind of has a little momentum, kind of.
Not really. Just among women. Just among women and all these woke folks. Around the brothers I know, we ain't feeling none of this shit. I'm sorry. The brothers I talk to, the ones that's out here I know grind, the ones out here that's about something, the ones that ain't sissies and sassy men, they ain't voting for her. Most men I know that's really just going down hard for Kamala's kind of sassy. So I mean, I don't know. Even the celebrities going out for it, they kind of sassy men, kind of soft men, kind of men that don't really speak up for other men. So that's soft men. Go ahead and vote for them.
But then what I don't want to happen is it to be a whole chain reaction of people saying, I'm just not going to vote. And, they did that in the last election.
Right.
Yeah, they just all copped out and was like, well, you know what? I'm not voting. You know what I'm saying? Hell with it. I ain't gonna vote.
Well, negate your voice. Negate your voice. If you want to do that, that's your personal right to vote or not vote. I can't tell nobody who to vote or who to vote for. This your business. All I can do is express my opinion. Now, if you choose to excuse my language, if you choose to cut off your own dick and not give yourself a vote and vote, more power to you. I can't help you.
Yeah. I mean, it's just as plain as that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it's just it is what it is. And I'm looking back at the Biden administration and how they hadn't really done nothing. I'm still not happy with Obama coming out.
The main thing that I got a problem with, to be honest with you, is I don't care for the immigrants coming over like they are, because I speak with people regularly from Chicago, and I think it was not Minnesota. Minnesota. It's a lot of the crime is getting out of hand right now. And it's just it's not a good thing right now.
It's not. Economically, it's not good. We looking at the immigrants getting, and I'm not antagonistic with the immigrants, But at the same time, it kind of perplexes me that we have so many poor Americans dealing with the loss of benefits and things like that, but yet we can find all of these money for these immigrants. I'm not saying don't help them, but help your own first.
Money for the immigrants, money for
Ukraine.
This war, you know what I'm saying, are helping Ukraine. You know, it's like, and prices are skyrocketing here. You know what I'm saying? Housing is through the roof.
Right.
Through the roof.
And under the current administration, which is with Kamala, is going to be the same continuance of the same inept, antiquated democratic rule and economic policy that's got us in this mess. It's going to be more of the same, except it's going to get worse. Women are vindictive. You think she ain't mad because the black men coming out against her? You think she ain't mad? You think she not gonna turn them screws if she get in there? Come on, man. Don't let her nowhere near the White House. She can drive by. That's about it. She been in there 3.5. Like my son said, she been there 3.5 years. Ain't done shit. So what makes her think she gonna do something now?
And that interview that they showing, they really trying to sabotage her. They asked her what she do.
They ain't trying to sabotage her. I tell you what, my brother, they ain't trying to sabotage her. She just ain't ready. Every interview I watch I've been going out of my way to watch these interviews. So that woman is not ready. She is not ready.
Boy,
First of all, she ain't black. We need to stop creating that narrative that she's somehow a black woman. Let's stop that lie. But just in my looking at her, and I looked at her fairly. I researched the candidate. She just ain't it. I ain't saying Trump it, but she damn sure ain't it.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. But like I say, majority of the business people that I know are pro-Trump. But like I say, you have to choose the lesser of the two evils.
Right.
At the end of the day. So, but I just feel like I'm not anti, you know what I'm saying, whatever, vote for who you want. I just feel like Trump can more identify with the other countries more, and he'll get a little bit more respect because he's arrogant. He don't like to lose. So he's going to make whatever happen to, to make what he wants. If he say make America great again, he gonna do what he can, to make it better. And it's just 4 more years. Even if Kamala lose, let this man finish these little 4 years and see what he can do, man. Because like you say, he was the one responsible for everybody out getting them goddamn stimulus checks. He was the one for those PPP loans and them. Everybody had a business. We kind of get it back on track. Then if Kamala gonna come in there, let her come in after him. But let that man finish out them 4 years. I'm just saying, let that man finish out his 4 years. Every other president did 8 years recently of the later presidents.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know one that just did 4 and bowed down. Everybody else did their 8. Let that man finish out his 4.
I'm like you, man. Let that nigga go and do his 4 years. And
just see what he can do. He's already under the Democrat right now, and everybody's struggling. If you just be honest with you, everybody's struggling.
Everybody's struggling except for the gays and the immigrants. Am I wrong? If you're a gay immigrant, you got it made.
Shit, boy, you wild.
Nah, I'm a little bit on one too.
But yeah, I open up the show. I give a little news of what's going on. We talk a little bit about the election that's coming up, the upcoming election.
Right.
It's a whole lot of things going on. I just like to touch up on 1 or 2 of them.
Can I say one more quick thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just a quick disclaimer. It's not that I don't care about the immigrant issue. It's not that I don't care about women's rights. It's not that I don't care about LGBTQ issues. But the thing is, this shit don't affect me. What affects me is the economy and my pocketbook. That's what I got to vote for. I ain't thinking about women's rights when I go in there. I'm not a woman. That's not my business. I'm not thinking about LGBTQ. Got nothing to do with me. I'm not thinking about the immigrants. I got to think what's right for George. And when you go in that into that booth, vote for who best represents what you need. Damn Democrat, damn Republican, vote for who best represents your interests. That's all I got to say.
But you know what, George? We talk about the liberals and the independents and the other parties, but it's no spotlight on them. That's why they never get the vote.
You know why they never get
we
the
don't
vote?
see the televised debate. They need to debate a Democrat. They need to debate.
The thing. The media is so liberal and biased. Them posts can't get a podium. I've been in contact with Chase Oliver's office. They can't get on mainstream media like everybody else because we got this system in America where we think it's only Republican and only it's 5 folks running. We don't know about that because this media, CNN, Fox News, all them for the shit. We shouldn't be watching the news anyway.
But my thing is, if they would put forth an effort to debate the candidate, I feel like it'll do that, but they never do.
Well, all we can do about that to make that happen is vote for them first. And once people see those rising numbers, and okay, the Libertarian vote got more votes than they did the past election. Well, let's try to focus some attention on them. It just takes time because
promotion is everything. They don't promote enough.
But I tell you this, I ran 2 political campaigns, one in Memphis, one in Dallas. I was a campaign manager for 2 campaigns. That shit's so dirty, man. It's so foul. It's not. It just don't work like people think it do. Where it's not fair. It's a corrupt system. You know what I'm saying? It's all about power and influence. Why would a multi-billionaire take a job that only pays $350,000 a year and being president?
Because the money is not his thing. That's
right. That's not the thing. It's about power and influence. And these people, I've seen it on city council elections. They get real ridiculous with this stuff. So all you can do, you can't get involved in all that. You just got to vote your principles. And I urge people, research these people running. Even if you think you're not going to vote for them, see what they stand for, see what their tenets are. And they have to align with yours and your culture and your family. So we can't just, I don't believe, I'm tired of black folks just voting blindly Democrat and they're not getting this nowhere. We've been doing that jump for 50 years. They ain't done nothing for, especially us black men. Because I'm an advocate for black men. That's who I'm speaking up for. And Obama doing a house nigga routine he did? No. He ain't gone back in the house with it. He didn't do shit for us no way. We all felt good to vote for him because he was part black. What did he do? He made gay marriage legal, didn't do nothing for black folks, didn't do nothing for the black man. Nothing. So come on, man. And now they want to be black. They want, like Kamala want to be black when it's convenient. She ain't black at all. Come on, man. Come on, we got to do better about ourselves. And we still voting for the slave master. Wonder why we keep getting whipped.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, but it's winding down. Time flying. Oh my God, it's gonna be election night in a minute.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be real interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And that morning after the election always be a weird feeling morning. And no matter what it is, it's something about the election morning. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't a regular wake up, go to school, go to work routine.
It's like a hangover. It's like a post-election hangover. Everybody kind of looking at each other. Everybody kind of like, oh, y'all know you voted for that bastard. You know, we all kind of be in that mood.
I guess that's what it is. I don't know, but it just be a weird feeling. Even when you go into Walmart and things, it's just weird. Yeah. And then the kids are out of school election day, I believe.
Right,
so
right.
It's crazy, man. But
yeah, this is probably one of the most important elections I think we've ever had.
Yeah, it's a very important one.
Yeah,
it's just that the lesser of the two evils is just not as interesting as ones in the past. But it's super important because it's either you want what you have now or you want to do a change. And so
here's the thing I can't figure out about black folks. Okay. Why we still vote for all these liberal policies when we some of the most conservative people I know? Most black folks ain't down with LGBTQ. A lot of black folks I know ain't pro-choice. So why don't we vote that way? Why do we vote the opposite of our standards, of our morals?
The reason they do a whole lot of stuff that's the opposite of their standards. They're going with the norm, the majority.
Right, going with the popular vote, exactly.
They're going with the norm. So it's like whoever everybody else is jumping on, that's who they doing. That even happened with the the Kendrick Lamar Drake beat.
Right.
And majority of the people swayed toward Kendrick. All the Drake people got quiet, and then they tried to force themselves to like Kendrick. You get what I'm saying? So it's like whoever is the majority that rule. That's basically what it is. And that's even if you're up there debating with somebody and the other person is more popular or the popular people are supporting the other guy, you can have all the best views or whatever. They're gonna sway with whoever popular, and the ones that's behind you gonna be real quiet. The new generation, they don't speak out. They don't stand up for what they believe in. They're like, oh well, I guess since John and he popular voted for whoever, I'm gonna vote for whoever. Who you voting for, man? I was gonna do her, but I'm gonna follow what you doing. We're in a following society.
Yeah, they following the popular vote. And one thing we got to stop doing is black folks stop letting these damn politicians in our churches come election time. They ain't visiting no other time. You don't see them nowhere trying to get no pulpit during the off year. You got Kamala up there in the church saying some real dumb stuff with a real controversial fake preacher. You know, the optics on this is just all bad. I feel like we're being catered to, like it's a minstrel show. That's what this feels like from her side. It feels like a minstrel show. You know, and me, I want somebody with some integrity. I just don't feel like, I ain't saying Trump ain't got no integrity. But at the same time, I had more money than him. So that's what I got to go by. I ain't going by all these, you know.
We were balling then.
Oh yeah, we sure was. And because, you know, and that's what people, especially black folks, got to start thinking about their wallet, not about, you know, who my mama told me to vote for. I hear that a lot. Man, my mama be mad if I don't vote Democrat. Man, damn your mama, man. You ain't 50 years ago. You still voting how your mama and grandmama told you to vote? Yeah. You don't vote. They're so weak-minded. And like I said, a lot of these men is really going down for Kamala, just really some weak cis ass. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm about to say something wrong. I'm just saying.
That's how it be with religion as well.
Right.
They go with religion based on what your parents. But I was lucky enough to be in 3 different households with 3 totally different religions. So I understood Catholic, I understood the Church of Christ, I understood the Baptists.
Right.
In college, got introduced to Nation of Islam, Buddhism, you know, so I just studied a whole lot and I just chose what was common in all of them. So I'm not religious, I'm more spiritual. And the thing that's more common in all of them is there's a creator. So I give praises to the creator. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I don't get all these denominations. You know, all these denominations ain't nothing but gang warfare. Coaches don't like Methodists. I mean, all this stuff is killing us black folks. We need to get away from a lot of stuff that's been ingrained in us. A lot of stuff is just slavery curriculum that we continue to follow this day, and who we vote for and how we live. Look at the BET Awards. Look how ghetto it's getting every year.
Yeah. I mean, it was super trash this year. Then they was tripping with Sexy Red and them did their thing. But this one was just so trash. No true artistry, no planned out performances. You know, it was just, I don't know.
It's just our culture. We killing our own culture by who we support, by who we vote for, by how we living, by what we doing. And we wonder why we ain't doing no better. You know what I'm saying? So the least we can do is get some money in our damn pocket. So those of us that do have some sense and want to do something good can go ahead and facilitate that. And that ain't gonna happen with Kamala in there. I'm sorry. I just really feel like ain't nothing good gonna happen for black men, because we need legislation at this point. We need things in place where we can be independent. And I ain't gonna lie, when he was in office last time, my nonprofit was popping. I was able to do some things. I was able to make some moves and make a lot of headway. That's what I'm voting for, not this message out there now.
Yeah, he might come out with stimulus package 2. You know what I'm saying? PPA, the PPP loan part 3. You know, so I mean, you just never know.
Like I said, Trump is a businessman. Why would I not? I ain't saying I'm voting for him, because I'm still iffy on that, because he got plenty of dirt on him. But I'm saying nothing about Kamala makes me think that she gonna do anything to support me as a businessman or as a black man.
And on that note, both of who you want to vote for, we just voicing our opinions. And like he said, he's not saying he's voting for Trump. He just breaking down what he feels is important to him, which is what you should break down what you feel important to you. Then they throwing out there the cutting of welfare, the cutting of Social Security and all that stuff. So get out there and do your research on these candidates before you go and vote. That's it.
Yeah. Bottom line.
All righty. Austin, what's happening with you?
Hey, what's going on with it?
How you doing?
Hey, I'm making it, man. Y'all doing all right?
Yeah, we living, man. It's a beautiful thing. We're above the ground, you know. Moving around above the ground, you know.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing. All righty. You came on just in time. We were just getting ready to jump into the topic and go ahead and hit this topic right quick. And it's been an interesting topic, man. It's just very, very interesting. And y'all will see it's a debate that can go on, you know, forever. You know what I'm saying? There's really no, but we're just gonna voice our opinion on how we feel about that. How we feel about that. The kids are precious. The kids are everything, and the kids did not ask to be here. So that's what makes this particular topic so interesting. And I figured I'd attack it tonight. And Austin, as well as George, has been throwing different topics that we're gonna go ahead and that I was tiptoeing around in the previous podcast, but we're gonna go ahead this fall and winter. And we're gonna go ahead and step on these issues right here. We're gonna go ahead and step on some toes. They say I touch up on it, but I bag off. So we're gonna go ahead and touch on. We're gonna touch on the LGBT, the alphabet group. We're gonna do a little everything this go round towards the end of the year. So just get ready. It's gonna be interesting. So y'all need to start liking, sharing the live, because it's about to get live. Okay. So I got mixed on that, but this is what prompted this though. We had a podcast on here a while ago, and one of my good friends, good Muslim brother, had said that he stayed with, and I tried to find the footage and I couldn't, but he said he stayed with his ex. They decided to stay together because of the kids. And he said he wasn't necessarily happy, but they learned to maneuver until the kids were grown, you know, went to college, and then they separated. But they chose to keep a mother-father household, regardless of their deciding to part or their issues. And when he said that, Austin and I, and that's why I wish I could find that footage, but if I do find it, I'll play it next week. But when he said that, we were kind of stunned because we seen our parents and grandparents kind of stay in relationships until we got grown, because it provided mother and father household. It was, we were able to get things we needed, things we wanted. And so you know, it worked. It was a good thing. And then Austin had also brought up, because while I was thinking about it, I thought about you too, Austin. The key thing was mom, dad, mom, stepdad, mom, cohabitant. The jobs women weren't as successful as they are today. Men weren't making the money that young men make today. So they will pretty much stay together, not only so we could come up in a two-parent household, they also stayed together to help those ends meet. So the children were taken care of. And I'm sure both of us, and you too, George, probably seen mom struggle or put up with certain things that you knew if she was financially able that she probably wouldn't have put up with. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they did back then. They were more dedicated to marriage, commitment, the vows back in the day, back in especially Big Mama them days. And I know we want to get rid of Big Mama them, but with Big Mama them and great grandparents, once you was married, you was married. And the women didn't have the jobs, the knowledge, the education that the women of today have. So,
or the attitude, or the mindset, or the flaws.
Right. So, with women making that money now, I don't see too many. Now, it's a few of them. I just had a conversation with a female, with someone earlier about her staying in a failing relationship because they had a child together.
Right.
So some women still want that. They don't want to be a statistic. Even my brother was like that. They don't want to be a statistic. So they want to have the child with that man, and whether the guy cheating on them, whether he beating on them, whether he misusing the money, he's not a leader, whatever it is. But my daughter is with her father and her mother, or my son is with his father and his mother.
Here's the fatal flaw in their thinking. Man, my parents stayed together. I think they stayed together for a while before they got divorced for us. Made us miserable. I told my son, he was 12 at the time, I said, son, what would you think if I stayed with your mama? No, Dad, I wouldn't have liked it. It would have been miserable. When you stay with somebody, you got a messed up relationship, your kids picking up on all their energy. All you doing is screwing them kids up. You staying together because you don't want to downsize, you don't want to do something, you don't want to be a statistic. Think about your kids first.
Well, this is what, go ahead, Austin.
People jump into these relationships and have kids and then get married probably because of the kids, and then they end up staying together and for the kids, and the relationship still stuck. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
You still ain't doing no messing up the kids. So
right.
I mean, it's hard enough for kids to grow up these days anyway, because of all the things that they see and have to deal with, and they're not built like when we were growing up. They're really sensitive these days. So
Snowflake.
Yeah. So so you're just adding to that. So they still see you arguing, they still see you fighting, they still see no love that's shown. So you're not really showing them how to deal with a relationship.
Right. And hey, don't leave out you in the back seat, and they going over seeing who they really want to see, and you gotta be quiet, and they get you McDonald's before you get home, so you don't tell whoever. It just was too crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Who has time for that? But when I seen this, and I was thinking about the Muslim brother Brandon, shout out to brother Brandon out there in Dallas, Texas. He stayed with his woman, with his ex, until the kids got grown, and he figured that's what every man should do. But we kind of bumped heads that night. But then when I seen this video, and then his friend sent this video, say this is what he was talking about, and when I heard this guy saying this, I was like,
let me tell you guys something. All three of you guys married. You married, correct? Mm-hmm. And for me, divorce. And what he said about the kids, you can't be your kid's best friend. But that's 100% correct. But don't get out of the house with your kids. 9 times out of 10, if you get divorced, you get out of the house with your kids. Oh, that's fine. The wife is going to just lie on you and throw you up on the rug, and then that's the only thing you can try to do is just be friends with your kids. That's what I'm doing right now.
That changes that. the greatest thing that you can do for your child is as a father is be in the house, stay married, because that's the greatest thing of like sit there and look, hey bro, every situation is different. I'm not gonna judge. You don't know. You know what I mean? Like
whatever you can do, especially while your kid's young, try your best to stay in the house with your kids. I don't care how unhappy and stuff you think you are, because you created those kids, and not just about your happiness. Yeah, it's about your kids as well.
So,
how y'all feel about that?
So you're saying that you're saying your kids can't be happy with seeing their parents happy apart. Is that what I'm getting?
That's
Because if you're unhappy and your spouse is unhappy, then that trickles down to the kids. You know what I'm saying? Because and again, you're not teaching them how to deal with adversity. You're not teaching them how to deal with conflict. You're not teaching them, well, I made a mistake, so this is how I'm going to correct my mistake. I don't have to stay in a situation because of whatever obligation. I can get out of this and I can still be show you happiness. You can see me happiness. I mean, you can see their happiness, and I can create happiness for me and my child.
Right. Because I think one of the best things we did for our son, me and my ex-wife, was actually get divorced. That was the best thing we could have done for our son. Because we weren't happy. We weren't making each other happy. We was making him miserable. And yeah, it took some time, but once we got divorced, now we friends. And my son said he's happier with it that way. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that whole mindset of men used to thinking, man, I just gotta work and kill myself and be unhappy because it's obligation. That's not where our thinking is at anymore. That way of thinking is antiquated. We getting rid of that. Now, on the topic of being your kid's friend, if you with a woman that's gonna dog you out when you're not around for your kid, that's on you, bro.
You made that decision. That's what I said, and that's why Austin preach a lot, and then then I got on the train, and we probably gonna break it down too on the podcast. Women need to be more selective of who they procreate with.
And
even he has to be more selective, because if he married a woman who would down him and speak bad on his name, if he moved out the house, if he wasn't around his kids, you made that choice.
You know, I mean, here's the thing. Like my mom and my daddy, I'm speaking from experience. They was bitter toward each other. I ain't gonna lie, but they never said anything against each other around me. They never did that. And I knew how they felt toward each other, but they never did that. And you got to be careful. When you lay down with somebody, you got to think about all this stuff. Man, what if she do get pregnant? What is it gonna be like? We don't work out. We ain't doing the forethought, but we want to do everything on the back end.
On the that guy that was in that video, he sounded like he want a cock block.
He sounded he don't.
He wanted to be there because he probably got caught whatever cheating, and then she getting her get back, and he don't want her getting the get back. Because if you look at his face and how he was looking and saying he want to be in the house, nigga, you cock block. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that situation, but my thing is, if you make an error and get into a relationship with someone that you don't want to be or shouldn't be with, and you find that out, and you all get a divorce, there's nothing wrong with a healthy co-parenting relationship.
Right.
And when you find your other mate, spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is, then they should be on board with however you all are raising that kid.
Oh yeah.
Right. No baby mama drama.
Right.
And all
everyone should get along.
No new insecure spouses, no new insecure boyfriends. Because if you come to a situation where you know a woman already got a kid with another man, and that man still active in that child's life, and you insecure about that, don't get involved in that relationship.
Yeah, walk away.
Walk away, bro. I'm dealing with that right now.
I don't know if I sent you that clip, Black. This dude, he was talking. It was a dating scene, and So he was going through these questions, and he asked his girl about does she want to have a family, and she was like, "Yeah, I have one, but it's not whole, because the dad is not there. So I'm a single mom. I'm a mom raising a child without a father in the house,
Right.
right?" And then the lady asked, "How does he feel about that?" And he said, "I'm cool with a woman that has a child as long as the dad is incarcerated or dead."
Yeah, that's
And
what I said. We gonna touch back up on that because I think we dipped on it, dating with children,
Right.
but it's becoming more and more, and the guys of today are really bowing out of getting in relationships with women with children.
And stuff like that. Yeah, I mean,
and to be honest with you, I mean,
You were honored back in the day.
yeah, forget that. So if I had to do it all over again, I would not get in a relationship with a woman that has a kid.
yeah,
I just wouldn't.
yeah,
I wouldn't.
I
It,
wouldn't.
it well, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't. It would be the that would be the very last thing that I would do. I I I I
When
wouldn't
you
want to
say
find
kids, you
myself in.
saying a toddler, or
I'm
he can
saying
have children if they what if they 16, 17?
that's
No,
that's the
no,
worst age.
that's the worst age. No, you don't do that. You don't. If they above about 10, nah, don't do it, bro.
Yeah,
Shit,
If they
that, that
above
I
10,
got it
don't
all
do it.
wrong. I
so
thought
Nah,
I
don't do
thought
that.
you once they they getting ready to leave the nest.
uh-uh.
So
So
Nah,
it
that's
either
when they want to stick around.
if they out the nest, then maybe yeah. If they older, what I'm saying, they out doing their own thing,
5
then
years old.
nah, bro, that's
No,
hard.
it's too rough. That's
That's
too
hard.
much. It's too much on a man because you're taking on another man's responsibility. I sat up there and raised another man kids for 5 years. I'm still in debt because of this shit. I'm not. I would never do it again.
You sound like you didn't do it out the kindness of your heart for the child.
I did do it. I did do it out of kindness from my heart, but through
You
stuff
got in debt.
I realized I was being more. I feel as though I was being more taken advantage of. It was more you viewed as convenience during that time, given hindsight. I love them kids to death, but don't change the fact, man. I still did that, and I felt like they're simping to a certain degree.
So I feel like this. If you are mom with kids, and you know and then there's a dad out there with kids, then y'all might match up
The Brady
because
bunch.
yeah,
The
no, I'm
Brady
just saying
bunch.
because y'all are in this unique dating pool because don't no woman want to just come in with no dude with no kids like
Right.
that, and then a dude don't want to come in a relationship with no woman with no kids like that. So hey, you know y'all might as well link up. But I
Yes,
know this. I know
it's
this one
interesting to
girl. I
dating
know
pool.
this one girl. She had 8 kids.
God damn.
It's
Eight
hard to
kids.
have 8 kids, homie.
Well, I don't know. She had them.
I think
She
you
had 'em.
said this before, and I
Yeah,
still said the same thing. 8 kids. I can see 5.
and they were all girls. She was a
Mm-mm.
cool. She was a cool little chick. Cool little chick. I was cool with her. We were friends, and she ended up dating this dude with 19 kids.
Yeah, make no
I have
damn.
seen that. I know a guy right now that got about that many from the
Right.
hometown. Yeah.
And I do not. So I guess she said, "Hey, it's gonna be hard for me to find a dude that's gonna take on me with 8 kids. So I'm gonna go find a dude that got 19 kids."
I mean, as
Right.
long as he's taking care of them.
Yeah.
How can
That's
you?
his
How can
deal.
you? How can no? See, we get this mixed up. Taking care of with just providing money.
Right.
How
Right.
can you spread? You have to spread your
Nick
love and
Cannon
your
finna
stuff
do it.
so thick. Nick Cannon. Nick
Who?
Cannon.
Nick Cannon ain't
Nick
doing that.
Cannon not doing that. All he doing is putting out money.
Yeah, he just putting out money and hiring nannies. He ain't taking them kids. Don't know him. He can't spread himself around like that. I got 2 in this hard. I got 2 boys. I got 3 stepkids. It's hard enough with 5. So you can't tell me you being no father and nurturing nobody. It's just like a nigga church.
That's for George.
Huh?
That question's for you.
Oh, okay. What's the question?
Did you marry the woman whose children you assisted in raising?
Oh,
no. No. I was there for 5 years. No, we never got around to getting married for whatever it's worth. But no. But I stayed for 5 years in the house.
And that's how I feel about the topic. Staying in a relationship after it's over. It's kind of like you being engaged to a woman and staying engaged for 7, 8, 9 years. You're wasting time. You feel what I'm saying? Being in that relationship, and them old men used to say, either you're gonna shit or get out the pot.
Yeah.
Let that woman, if you're not gonna marry that woman, let her free to go find somebody to live her life.
Hey. No. It ain't all on the dude. The woman there too. She know she could leave.
Yeah, let her ass go. Help her pack.
Yeah, she can leave.
But you selling her, if you engage 8 times out of 10, that man's selling her that dream.
Hey, she better learn how to buy something different.
Next year we're gonna be in Paris. Yeah, after that we're going to Vegas.
Dude,
come on now, y'all know what's up. You know the game.
Dude, he ain't even taking you from Bastrop to Monroe. So how you gonna take you to Paris and Spain and all that stuff?
That's where the wedding gonna be. And George was in that relationship 5 years. Y'all didn't talk about marriage or nothing within them.
We had rings and everything, but she just went left. Raising 5 kids, dealing with life, it's just things get in the way and things change.
And they prolong.
Yeah, and they
speaking of Bastrop, it's a couple, it's people down there right now that's been in these relationships since high school and never been married. Since fresh out of high school and never got married. And been together damn near 30 years, 25 years.
But maybe that's what they choose to do.
Yeah,
and, someone brought up an interesting point to me. And the vows say until death do us part. Now, it didn't speak of a physical death. It didn't speak of an emotional death. It just said until death do us part. So are we to read into that like we read so much into things within the Bible? Could it be the death of a relationship? Could it be the death of love, your feeling, your love, all those things? What does that actually mean?
I don't know, because that right now people leave a relationship or mess up a relationship just over a piece of meat. So it's like that people don't even go there.
To non-traditional women or men, it doesn't matter.
Well, I'm speaking to those that
matters.
That it matters to, and to give them something else to think about. So, and yeah, they leaving marriages over a piece of meat, all right. And it's called a dick and it's called pussy. So
that's what I meant. And the thing is too, you have a lot of women out here, especially if you're in a dating circle, they so busy trying to see what kind of father you're gonna be to their kids, they miss you as a man. They don't get to know you as a man first before they start thinking, oh, I need a father for my children, and that's ass backwards to me.
Back in the day, they didn't do that. You couldn't meet the kid. Even when I was single parenting, my son didn't meet women.
My son don't meet women.
Nope.
My son don't meet women.
When he go to bed, they come over. When it's time for me to take him to school, they gone.
Right.
He never knew I had company at all.
Yeah.
And this is 10 years. He never knew I had company.
Right. Because see, you gotta be cognizant of one thing, especially us men that have sons. They watching how we deal with women and how we deal with relationships. So if we got women running in and out and they seeing it, that's not good for them as men.
Yeah. Same way with I feel staying in a relationship where you're not happy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to set all these boundaries. Then I wouldn't put myself through the torture, because if there's anything, even if it's completely over, let's just say she on a date and your date canceled or whatever. She come home happy and drunk, and you sitting your ass around there mad because you couldn't go. It couldn't go with who you was trying to go with. I just wouldn't put myself through it.
You know what it turns into? When you stay with somebody and you're not happy, you know what it turns into? A competition. Who can have the most dates? Who can be showing the other one they having the most fun? Who the one? It's messy.
And see, and that's the thing that I don't understand. Okay, if you're saying we're staying together for the kids, then you all don't need to see anyone else. Just sit in that house. Hey, if this is what you're saying, you're making this sacrifice for the kids, staying in the house together, then you all need to sit there and look at each other and just be mad all the time with nobody else involved.
Yeah, because you have to put too many rules, too many boundaries.
Yeah.
He can come by, but he can't come in the house. She can come by, but she can't come in the house.
Who gonna let somebody come to their house and y'all stand together? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
That's a quick way to get shot.
And then y'all living in y'all sleeping. I'm assuming y'all still sleeping in the same bed.
No. You're not gonna sleep in the same bed. One sleep they got separate rooms. They got a big enough house, or one sleep on the couch. You're not gonna sleep in the same damn bed.
That's stupid. Hey, well, what? So what you're showing your kids is, hey, we stand in this house together, but there's no love. We still separated. You know,
right?
It's still abnormal. It's still abnormal behavior.
Hell, I didn't sleep in the bed with my wife for the last 7 years of our marriage.
Last what?
7 years.
You say you didn't?
Didn't. Probably longer than that.
Jeez.
Exactly. That's why I won't do this shit again.
Let me ask you. Hey, I know we airing it out, but every now and then, did you slip in there and spank on the booty?
Hell no. I went without sex for about 7-8 years. Because I was trying to be faithful, you know what you want to happen. See why I'm kind of say the stuff I say now? I've been there. Staying together for the kids is the dumbest thing you can do, because all you can do is hurt your kids.
Yeah.
If you stay together for the kids, it's not because of the kids. You doing it for you. Because you can't let the person go. It ain't got nothing to do with them kids. It's you.
Boy, you should have went there and slipped them panties to the side or something.
Hey,
it don't work like that.
Lead his face. He don't want to leave it. He cock blocking. He don't want that.
Let me tell you guys something. All three of you guys married. You married, correct? Mm-hmm. And for me, divorce. And what he said about the kids, you can't be your kid's best friend. But that's 100% correct. But don't get out of the house with your kids. 9 times out of 10, if you get divorced, you get out of the house with your kids.
Oh, that's
the wife is going to just lie on you and throw you up on the rug, and then that's the only thing you can try to do is just be friends with your kids. That's what I'm doing right now.
That changes that. The greatest thing that you can do for your child is, as a father, is be in the house, stay married, because that's the greatest thing of like. And look, hey, bro, every situation is different. I'm not gonna judge. You don't know. You know what I mean? Like
whatever you can do. And especially while your kid's young, try your best to stay in the house with your kids. I don't care how unhappy and stuff you think you are, because you created those kids, and not just about your happiness.
Yeah.
It's about your kids as well.
That nigga is cock block. That nigga trying to cock block because he got that stare on. And he done convinced that woman that the only reason he's staying there is for the kids, and he don't want her getting no more snake.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's pussified thinking. We got to stop the pussification of this country among our men, and that kind of thinking ain't doing nothing but helping it.
Phew, that dude, he had a straight face, and he had to say that on that podcast so that woman can think that's what it is. Man, get your ass out that house and let that woman do what the hell she wants.
And go on do what you gonna do, not just let her. Go on do you. Live your life.
The difference is, and we need to touch up on this, fellas, sooner than later. The difference is, us men, we known for effing with no feelings. That's what we do. But 8 times out of 10, when your woman finally, and especially if she's a respectful woman that respects her body and her temple and very selective on who she sleeps with.
What is?
When she mess with somebody 8 times out of 10, it's emotional and she wanted to. 8 times out of 10.
Not these days.
That's why I said if she respects her body. And like you said with the women who you were talking about.
For real, most of these women out here thoughts, man. A lot of them out here thoughts.
It's an emotional attachment.
Yeah.
If she's not loose and part of whatever.
Yeah, them days. These women ain't like that no more. Because I mean, if that was true, they would be staying with these dudes. But they're about bald dude for 3 months. Most dudes got a 90-day expiration date. I'm speaking personal. I got a 90-day expiration date on my interest in a woman. If she don't catch me with them first 90 to 120 days of knowing her, she fall off. So it's the same with these women getting all emotional with these dudes and sleeping with them. They don't understand. They on the ticking time clock. That dude probably got 3-4 months before he stopped messing with you and going to the next.
I mean, that was me. I was a 3-month man.
Because, hey, you got women out here that sleep with you, and if you ain't bringing what they call a good D, then they done. So you got women out here doing the same thing. They
doing
out
the
here,
same thing.
yeah. So
yeah,
they out
y'all
here
talking about hoes. I'm talking about
these.
I'm talking about the women who mother was in their lives, who wasn't out there doing a thing,
it don't matter.
Who came up
It
on
don't
the
matter.
It don't matter.
It don't matter. It don't matter. It's different.
Hey, I know you want to. I know you want to stay in that fairy tale land.
Yeah, they don't exist.
But these women out here, they not like that no more. They sleeping with dudes left and right.
Right.
And just for the fun of it, with no feelings. Hey, they was doing it to us. Now we can do it to them.
I mean, I know that. Hey, I'm in the clubs. I see that all the time.
And we ain't talking about no young women. We talking about older women.
Older women, all ages. And here's the thing: these women, they misconstrue lust for feelings. They thinking with their coochie and thinking it's they hard. Then when they get their heart broken and you try to get with them, they all messed up in the head.
George, they ain't even thinking that no more.
No,
they thinking about the feeling that they get.
Somebody gonna say
for that 30 minutes to an hour. Get that? You know what I'm saying?
Somebody hurt y'all.
What somebody say?
No, they're saying they can't hear. It's the feed closed.
I don't know what they own. Chantel, can you hear us? Oh, okay. He trying to join the feed. Oh, okay. Never mind. Hold on. Let me find a way to shoot him. Let's see. Let me shoot him the link. Hold on.
But yeah,
this dude here finna clown. I don't even know why I'm finna let this clown on here.
Well, go on, let him on. But
he finna clown. Okay.
I'm just saying, women don't care about that no more. They got niggas. They got niggas that
they call just for that.
Call just for that.
They got one dude that's their friend. They have multiple dudes. They have one dude to bang them out. They have one dude that's their friend. They have one dude they go shopping with. These women out here just living like that.
They don't care no more.
I mean, yeah.
They got a dude.
And y'all know I'm the first one to say that because I wasn't a fan of marriage, none of that stuff. And I was the revolving door and all of that. So I get what y'all saying. Don't get me wrong. I'm not delusional. I know they are out there, and I know 80%, 85% of the women today are like that. But I'm saying the one or two that still sits back and let and put the 60-day rule, the 30 days, the 90 days, whatever rules in. I have a cousin, she lives by that, bro. She lives by that.
Right. She must be the last one. She the last one.
She one of the last breeds. Shout out to Isha. You know.
Yeah, that they don't go by that rule no more.
Yeah, so it's one or two.
Hey, after Steve Harvey wrote that book and they had that little run on it, it was over with.
Now you and George, before you start coming on, we've had deep conversations where women came on here saying that they doing what they want. Right. Y'all did it, we doing. One of them even said that a guy could be gay yesterday and say he's straight and they accept him as being straight. We had some crazy.
Yeah, she said he could still have Duke on his dick. She don't even
He
care.
didn't care.
Yeah, a lot of sleep with gay friends. A lot of when these women they got gay friends, they sleeping with them, they messing around with them. That ain't nothing new. That ain't nothing new. It just is what it is.
And then you wonder why you got a yeast infection.
Yeah.
Man. Chlamydia. But
y'all crazy.
Yeah, y'all going a little too left. They say y'all be wild on here. That's what they say they like watching the replays because y'all be wild. They say they go to bed early, but they wake up that morning to watch y'all replay and they say y'all be saying some wild stuff on it. But peep her out.
Their home. So sometimes the one thing that you think you're doing to help your children can actually cause them harm. Does it make sense to stay together for your children? Absolutely not. The damage you cause your children by watching you and that other parent in a toxic, dysfunctional relationship is usually far worse than if that person just left or you just left and you and that other person spent time with your children apart in independent, safe, healthy spaces. I have found in some of my cases when we do have older children who are no longer minors, they talk about how they wish their parents would have divorced sooner or they knew things were not happy or good in their home. So sometimes the one thing that you think you're doing to help your children can actually cause them harm.
So I understand that person that says stay at, try to stay in there. But what that white guy said in that video, he said stay in your marriage.
Right.
And that stood out to me. So what that means is if you have children, and this goes back to Austin's favorite thing, pay attention to who you procreate with. So if you have children, and like I was saying when I found out how long you had been in your marriage, try to stay in that home is what the white guy said. And the deal to try to stay in the home means work that situation out with your wife because you have those children. You're on a different level once kids come into play. You're not about yourself anymore. So if you guys fell in love or whatever, you walk down that aisle, you got married, you have the children or the child, try to stay in that is what he's saying. Try to stay in it.
And it's stupid. It's stupid. It's not going to work. It is not going to
No. I'm saying before it gets to that leaving point, meaning once you're married and you see you guys are drifting, falling apart or whatever, try to save that marriage. So you'll be there for the child. Once that marriage over, it's time to pack your and
go.
Right. Go ahead, George.
No, I'm done. You go ahead.
Okay. I'm a firm believer in having maintenance, marriage, relationship counseling. Although there isn't anything wrong at the time to ensure that things aren't going wrong and to keep you on a good path, then there's nothing wrong with having marriage, maintenance, relationship counseling.
True.
So, and then also when you're about to get divorced, then go to a family counselor. Take the kids with you.
Yeah.
Take the kids
if you're able to.
Yeah, if you're able to, and work through that. So
counseling is your thing.
Right. Therapy.
Perfect. Yep. Therapy, counseling, whatever you want to call it. Just be able to work through that, whatever that situation is, and help walk those kids through that situation. Hey, we're about to get a divorce. This is how things are gonna look, and make sure that you and your soon-to-be ex-spouse that y'all are good, that you're gonna work together to continue to raise your kids.
Yeah, because see, the problem is usually when a relationship or marriage ends, y'all ain't gonna be at that point for a couple of years. Because everything involved, it may take a couple of years for y'all can get to that point where y'all can say,
communicate, George, and that's what I was saying.
But I'm telling you something about relationships. It's a lot of wounds that happen in relationships.
You got to communicate, George.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to heal first before you can communicate. There was a point in time I could not have me and my ex-wife could not have we went at the point where we healed enough to where we could communicate. But in time, through therapy and things like that, you got to the point. That's my homie. You know, but sometimes it's a journey to get to that point. So you have to keep that in mind too. You know what I'm saying? But the main thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Rev, it's some noise in the background that's real loud. So kind of lower that noise in the back so we can bring you on to speak. And I'm talking to Rev. Yeah, some noise. So yeah. What you were saying, Austin?
So normally there's pain for one or the other. So the one that wanted to leave the relationship probably has the least amount of healing to do.
Right.
Because they're already at a point, or were already at a point where they were already healing within the leaving process.
That's what I call weaning yourself off, because that's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there is a level of healing that is done that's needed for one or the other.
Right.
And sometimes I guess it can take a while.
Yeah, it does. I ain't gonna lie to you. It took a while to get over.
Still in the back. Rev, still no.
It sounds like whatever audio device he's using, it's giving feedback.
Okay. Turn your computer down or whatever you listening to it on, turn it down to this very, 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 very low where you can just hear yourself.
Or I don't know if he has two things playing on at the same time.
Let's see. Because I'm interested to hear what the Rev, since he came in there with the REV. I gotta. Okay, let's see.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, and it's quiet.
Can you hear me now, fellas?
Stay like that.
My take on it, man, toxic is toxic. And without a solid foundation, you got to go back to the childhood days with mother and father. That's the real determination and the real deciding factor for how your relationship going to turn out. If their relationship was rocky and your father and there was no values taught and there was no real example, then take Chris Brown and Rihanna, for instance. What if they were to get married? You see how their relationship was? They were fighting. They're no longer together because they were toxic for each other. So in order to have a relationship that's going to work, it has to be a foundation. Not saying you got to go to church or nothing like that, but it starts with mother and father. It's hereditary. It's however way it turns out in your childhood. 90% of the time, that's how your relationship going to turn out. That's what I got to say about it, Doc.
So you say building a foundation. Now, what about if the foundation is broken, but there's children involved? Should you stay in that relationship?
Well, if you stay for the children, that's not helping neither. That's not helping nobody. Not even helping the children, because it's still toxic. Mother and father can't get along. What you're teaching the children is false hope, and in the end, it's going to turn out to be what you wasn't trying to teach them. So my thing is, if it's not working, don't do it for the kids. Do what's best for the kids. And if not being together is best for the kids, then you have to do what's best for the kids, not for what's best for you and the mate. That's toxic.
Yep. And unfortunately, you do have when you're talking about staying for the kids, you do promote a toxic relationship environment, right?
Right.
Because again, all the kids are seeing is toxicity, and they're learning. If they're looking at you as an example of a relationship, then you're not being a great example of what a relationship truly looks like.
Right.
So why not go ahead and remove yourself from that particular relationship? Find you someone that you actually get along with, and they can actually see what love looks like in a relationship.
And that's what I preach. Instead of staying in a toxic relationship And if you want a 2-parent household, then you find you a mate that can provide that 2-parent household.
And you have to understand too. This is a fact people don't want to realize. But just because you marry somebody or just because you with somebody got kids, don't mean you supposed to be with them. I was married for 16 years. One minute for me because I tell you my main reason because me at 22 when I got married was not me at 35.
Right.
Things change, people change, people grow, people change, people have different ambitions. So you got to look at your stage of life, and this is the reason why a lot of relationships in.
Yeah, and you know, I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
Between the ages of 20 and 40, I wasn't shit. As a husband, boyfriend, or nothing else, I didn't do nobody no good in a relationship.
Right.
And every relationship that I was in, it failed because I wasn't truly ready.
Right.
I wasn't truly being who I should have been in those relationships.
Right.
I tried. You
You
know,
didn't
I
try.
tried. I tried, but
So,
I wasn't
see,
ready. Those people weren't for
that
me.
goes back to foundation. Goes back to foundation. Where was your foundation from?
When me and my wife was married, our foundation was in the church and all that still didn't work. So, you know, you can really it's sometimes that house just ain't meant to stand on that foundation, no matter how strong it is. You know,
Well, how many folks in the church that's divorced? So the church has nothing to do with it. It's the foundation in which you were raised under, which the foundation in which you stood on. Because if your dad is a good man, goes to work, pays the bills, take care of the kids, take care of the wife, that's a foundation to build on. But if dad is beating your mother, then what foundation do you have?
But what I'm saying is this: regardless of the foundation, your stuff can still go left and still not work out. You can try everything, and it still not work out because it's just not meant for you to be with that. It's meant for you to be with that person for a while, for a season in your life.
Yeah.
But then at some point, you gotta break that.
Yeah, a crack foundation can always be repaired.
I feel like it wasn't enough communication, George. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it was too much stuff.
You wasn't mature enough at 22 to 32, whatever, 38. You wasn't mature enough to stop and say, "What we gonna do?"
No, I was smart. I was smart enough to say, let me get the hell out of this. This ain't the person I married. I ain't the person she married. Let it go. Don't do relationships. Hang by yourself. Don't get in that mess again. Now, of course, I did it again with a relationship right after that, but now I know folks in my life for a season. I'm not gonna make those long-term commitments because it's too many variables.
That's right, George. Just be a host.
Yeah, George is saying, "Fuck it," he done gave up.
I gave up.
Hey, how's it going?
Kirkland Henry,
How
Bo
you doing,
Rock.
my friend?
We got Bo Rockers in the building. Turn your volume up a little bit, Bo Rock.
That's about high as I can go. Is that up?
That's cool enough, though. You good? We can hear you.
All right, so I got a lot to say about this subject. Is the reason I jumped on. Because I have 2 sets of kids by the same woman, with the first set being grown during the divorce, and the second set being minor during when the divorce happened. And what I can tell you, there's a significant difference as to when that foundation for that younger set of kids was broken than when the wife was together and was there despite our problems with the first set. We were there as a unit, and what those children were able to receive when that family was a group, as opposed to when we separated. My first set of kids are doing amazing things. my second set of kids, they're not bad kids, but they're nowhere near where my first set of kids are during that same age period.
Wow.
And there's been a significant difference. Though we tried to raise them out of the home, but when the kids live with one set of parents and they visit another set of parents, they're going to get, even though you preaching the same standards, they're going to get two sets of standards. So what I've learned is that during those critical periods between the age of an infant to the age 11, 12, 13, 14, you need to keep that family whole until that foundation and those fundamental structures are developed. No matter how you work it out and do it. As long as, now, if there's violence in the house, drug abuse in the house, that's something totally different. But what I'm talking about, when two people just are not getting along because they have grew apart with time and age, because they joined too early and didn't really know what they wanted in life, what was important in life. Most families come from situations where there's a lot of dysfunction. So if my father was able to give me so much from my dysfunctional household, and her parents was only to give her so much from her dysfunctional household, now we're together trying to figure out how to make our household not work from all of this dysfunction. So we only have a limited amount of set of skills. Here's the hugest problem with a broken home. Say both parents work and they live in separate homes. The kids go to school from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. The working parent goes to work from 8 and they get home at 5. By the time they get home, the kids are already at home. Now the mom gets home, just say she's got the kids. She's got 2 or 3 kids. The mom gets home, she's been working all day. You only got a small window of parenting. And that window of parenting is between 5 and 8 o'clock, because they got to get ready to do it again the next day. So just say the mother's tired and she ain't hearing it. And she come home, the first thing she gonna say, how come that room ain't clean? How come that kitchen ain't clean? How come this ain't done? So we ain't even talked about the kid's day or anything that possibly could have happened throughout that whole kid's day. Then did you do your homework? Okay. Then what's for dinner? Okay. So what if that parent is so tired and their day has been so bad that when they get home during that 4-hour window, they go in their room and they shut their door and they decompress for 2 hours. Okay. So now the kids got to self-manage, right? So they got to make these decisions on their own, whatever they are. They're going to do that based on how they feel. Yeah, you're going to yell and you're going to fuss why this thing get done, why this get done. But then you ain't going to be able to hold them threats, or you're going to get tired. So then what you call the father? Well, the father live on the other side of town. He's like, what you calling me for? Well, you need to talk to them. Talk to them about what? Because when they come to my house, they behave. So who's raising the kids, you see? So then the kid, you didn't discuss anything what happened with the kid that day. So he goes back to school the next day, carrying all that shit that he just had, that he ain't dealt with, that he ain't talked to nobody with, whether it was bullying, whether the teacher had a problem with him, whether he had a problem with a class, or anything, whether somebody tried to bother them on the bus stop, any of these things never got addressed.
Well, that's just bad parenting, though. That's not because they're not together. That's bad parenting.
That's reality.
That's reality, but just because it's reality don't mean it's still not bad parenting. They stand together for the kids stuff will screw them kids up quicker than them being separate.
No, I kind of get what he's saying. If you come to an agreement, that's why he said try to figure it out the best way you can.
Get the court involved and get your stuff on paper. That's the only way it's gonna happen because you can make all the
what he's saying, George, is he's speaking from experience.
Oh yeah, I understand.
Listen, he had an older set. He has a younger set. The older set, they were doing the family thing while the older set was doing their thing. And the older ones are brilliant. I'm talking about
He know my kids.
IQ is through the roof. I'm talking about they can go in there and break down Windows 11 and make Windows 13 right now. They just got to get it patent. I know these nerds. Okay. Now his younger kids are not functioning the same as the older kids because they decided to divorce and split up. So now they're having to go to two different households doing what we know as the co-parenting thing, which we are fans of co-parenting. But when you get someone who has been in the relationship and doing the co-parenting, looking at the mother is with them, and majority of the time, I was lucky enough to win my son, but majority of the women are raising the kids, and a woman is not as focused. A lot of women. I don't want to
we can't say that.
Not as focused a lot of times, and like he said, when I come home and I'm tired, I'm still gonna take time out to see what's going on with my son.
You don't get no pass.
Yeah, I don't get a pass. But the woman, she's tired. I want to scream. Calgon takes me away. She want to get in the shower. She want to get in that tub with the bubble bath, get a glass of wine and relax. While the kids have been through hell. They done got bullied. The teachers cursed them out. They done failed the test.
Man, my thing is, look, so could it be that those kids just didn't? The generations are different. Number one, generations are different. Their kid. I know a kid now that he was raised in a 2-parent household. His parents still together. Put him through college. No debt. No whatever, and he still ain't shit.
But that ain't the exception to the rule, though.
I'm just saying though. But and then I'm gonna put myself in the equation. My parents were my parents were divorced. Stepdad beat the hell out of my mama all the time, right? So I did not have those relationship skills, if you will. I did not see the true reflection of what a marriage truly looked like. But as
his stepdad too, Bo Rockers.
And
y'all
as I grew older, I had to look at things in a way and develop and determine what was right and what was wrong, and figure out how to be in a relationship. I turned out pretty well, military, college, all those things, right? So even though, back to Rail's point, my foundation was broken, you have to, as an individual, figure things out as life goes on.
So let me ask you a question. Did you have a stepfather that stepped in, or some significant male that played a role?
And that's what I'm saying. My stepfather wasn't shit. He worked, but he beat the hell out of my mama, right?
Okay.
I got kicked out of the house at 14 for defending my mama, right?
Okay.
So I did not have a lot of role and I didn't even look at people as role models, even as a young age. But I did look at my environment. And a lot of the men that were around me, they were hardworking men, but they did not nurture their relationships. So early on in life, I did not truly know how to nurture a relationship, and that's why I went through so many of them. But as life went on, I had to learn how to nurture a relationship, how to handle a wife, how to be a father, a real
Right. So
an
you came
intentional father.
up you came up from a divorce relationship, right?
I came up through a very tumultuous childhood relationship situation.
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
But what I'm saying is, on the scale of success, I still made it.
You figure, but that's not what we're talking about.
But I grew up in a house that didn't have the best foundation and saw a lot of stuff coming up. But once I realized I was about 15, that had nothing to do with me anymore. I had to figure out things for myself. I couldn't worry about what I saw growing up. I had to figure myself out. And that's what a lot of kids are afraid to do. You know what I'm saying? No matter what circumstances you grow under, you have to grow as a person.
And that's the point that I was trying to make earlier. A young man grew up in the household with his parents, and all the way through college, and has a degree, and will not work, and feel like they should be paying him because they brought him in this world.
Just because parents stay together does not mean that that's a guarantee for the child's success.
Right. And just like it doesn't mean if they split up or they live separately, the child is gonna lack in any kind of way, because they not. My son don't lack for nothing.
Here's what I'm saying. To me, I think that I was just a stronger parent than Rose.
Okay.
And the way she raised them and the way I raised them were completely different. The way they behaved in her household and the way they behaved in my household was just completely different.
Right.
When I wanted to when she moved to Texas, eventually she moved to Texas. And instead of moving closer to me, she moved further away from me. So it was if she moved to my state and lived in Grambling.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying, D?
Right.
So it still made me difficult. Like when I work from 4 in the morning to 5 in the evening, I ain't got time to drive to Dallas to see them. You know what I'm saying? So I get them on the weekend. And you know what? They behave perfectly and we have fun.
Right.
And I give them all the tools that I can give them. But then when they go back home, they know how they can behave. They know what they can get away
with.
So part of me can fault her because she was a school teacher and she done went to work all day dealing with dysfunction and she beat up. And the last thing she want to deal with is what? Her own kids. So I got a son in Arkansas. He's got 2 boys. Him and his wife, they're a model of what raising kids is. That's Courtney. What raising kids are like, man. It is something to see. It is something to witness. But I assure you that the relationship that I have with all of my kids, I stay in close contact and stay involved in their life. And I'm constantly sharing anything that I think will help them so that they ain't 40, 50, 60 talking about all the trauma and shit they went through.
Right.
Because Rose is 60. And up until the time her father died, she was still talking about childhood shit that she went through.
Right.
And that was from watching what the parents that didn't want to be together, that was it that type of relationship that she seen growing up, or was it a loving foundation?
Rose was a household, was more of they were the Ravens.
I know, the Huxtables.
And they are somebody. So
Mhm.
you got certain standards to meet. And when you
Oh.
don't want to align and do what you want to do, you become very rebellious.
Mhm.
And anybody know Billy Raven, man. Billy Raven, he achieved a lot of great things. And I'm not gonna speak ill of the dead, but Billy Raven had a reputation also.
Mhm.
And so she had a lot to live up to.
Right.
And because she didn't meet certain standards that they had set for her, be it in marriage, be it in college, be it in whatever, she caught it. You see what I'm saying? She got caught. She got told. She got talked to in ways and things said to her you can't take back.
Wow.
And she was scarred, severely scarred. And so when I married her, she carried all this luggage with her.
Mhm.
And so me, I had my own dysfunction, but I was able to compartmentalize things very well and realize that I had to go out and get my own. My parents did the best they could with the tools they had, because who raised them? I looked at, okay, who taught them how to be a father? Who taught them how to be a mother, you know? So what can they give? If my father didn't learn nothing but how to drink alcohol and womanize, what am I gonna learn?
Mhm.
So I had to learn myself how I want my household to be when I have kids. What would that look like for me? And then I start gradually getting wiser and wiser through time and learning that I got 6 different kids with 6 different personalities. How do I manage those relationships? How do I know what this one need and what this one don't need? I had to do a lot of, and as I got older, the more responsible I began to become. But when the divorce happened, it devastated my kids. Devastated them. And they never recovered.
Did you ever think about staying in it? Like the topic saying, did you think about staying in that relationship, or did you just want your freedom? Did the kids actually?
I would have stayed until what I felt like to that foundation was set. I would have stayed. And this was her choice.
Right.
And I told her, I said, "You sure you want to do this at 43 years of age?" I said, "You're not gonna be." What happened? Why we getting commercials or something?
No, we listening. Man, he was in the deep too. Are you there still, Kurt? We want to. Hey, that was deep. We want to welcome to the panel, Skip. Man, this thing got deep tonight, Skip. Man, I'm glad that you was able to join in. But how do you feel about the topic? Because the Rev speaks some deep stuff. Then the Rev motivated Kurt to come on here, and Kurt came in and had the panel quiet. So what's been up? Skippy to do with that. What you feel about that? Staying in the relationship, because you are now you're a father also. Would you stay in your relationship for the sake of the kids?
Man, that's I've had actually I know a few folks that tried to do that, and sometimes it end up not being as good as they wanted it to be. And for me, in my personal opinion, I mean, if you're already in a relationship, this depends on, this is if you're married. Was this if you're married or just in a relationship, period?
No, we saying I want to say both. Married, living in a household together. I'm gonna say living in a household and raising children together. Yeah. Should you stay together and continue to raise them kids to at least out of high school, or should you divorce and or move out and try to co-parent?
If I think it would all depend on what the situation is, and it depends on how toxic the couple is. Different reasons will cause them to leave for different reasons, of course. But if it's not working for neither one of y'all, I don't think it would be the good thing to force it, because at the same time, even though if you're there for the kids and y'all toxic and y'all always fighting, you know what I'm saying? What kind of example is this? Because the next thing you know, it can end up into something domestic, and the brother's going down.
Right.
Women do go down too, but if it's kids there and everything, 9 times, because Georgia is a what is this, a woman? Is this a women's state? How it go? Out here in Georgia, but whatever, they usually favor and side for the women. I got 1 or 2 brothers on child support right now, but if it's that bad, I don't think it's a good idea, because you don't want it to escalate into something more. And if we get cased up, you already know that's a whole situation. You know what I'm saying? More expensive, this and that. Now the kids gonna be worried that much more. You know what I'm saying? Versus us trying to spare the feelings of the kids and go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? It's like a double-edged sword. Because either way, I feel like either way it go, if it's toxic, it's not a good thing. But for the sake of the kids, it's like you want to make that sacrifice. And I feel like if it's in you and you feel like you could push it out, like you said, Black, at least till high school. You know what I'm saying? At least till high school. I would pray that could happen. But if it's bad like that, sometimes you gotta go your separate ways, so it won't escalate into nothing, further.
Like me and my ex-wife, we got divorced when our son was 8.
What going on, George? That's George. What's
Hey,
going on?
How y'all doing?
George?
So, my son told me, he said, "Dad, I'm glad y'all got the divorce." And I'd rather hear him say that than 10 years later than hear him say, "Dad, it was really messed up. Y'all stayed together for me, because y'all did was mess me up more."
And this kind of what I think she was saying.
Understand the desire to stay in the marriage because you think you're doing it for your children. But it's actually not the best option most of the time. And the reason why is that if you are in an unhappy marriage, I guarantee you your children know that you are in an unhappy marriage. And chances are there's conflict, or maybe there's no emotion at all. And what you're doing is your child is learning how to model their behavior on you and what they see their parents doing. And this ultimately leads to depression, it leads to stress, it leads to anxiety, and worst of all, it leads to them conducting their relationship the same way. Yeah. So I advocate for divorce in a situation like that. You can create a more stable environment for your child, and you can model proper behavior, which is self-love.
Yeah.
So
That's
I don't
true.
have an issue with that.
Yeah, co-parenting, it's
So
the
this
thing.
is my sentiment as well. When you're in a toxic relationship, don't stay just for the kids' sake, because sometimes those kids grow up to resent you for staying in a toxic relationship situation. I've talked to plenty of people myself, and they say the same thing. They'll be like, well, my dad was toxic and I wish my mom would have left. At least I would have had some peace at her house, or where she was at, or where she went. Or they'll say my mom was toxic and I wish my dad would have left, but he stayed, and now we were in a toxic household 100% of the time, instead of being over there 50% of the time. This might sound bad, but I've also talked to adults who sometimes grow up to resent their kids because they feel like their kids kept them anchored in a toxic relationship, because they blame the kids for having to stay in a toxic relationship. Like, I just feel like my kids needed both parents in the household, blah, 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 boo, boo, boo. And it just, I'm just telling you, they grow up with resentment as well. Well, the adults are already grown, but they have resentment as well. Some people stay for the kids. Some people leave for the kids.
Yeah,
Now, I have people in my family that encouraged me not to stay for the kids. I'm saying they said don't never do that because they did it. And they was that's the worst thing to do. They were mentally abused. But they did it to make sure that the kids had a solid foundation, was able to have good Christmases, great birthdays, able to get whatever they needed for the school plays and everything that they were in. So they stayed in that two-parent relationship
You could have still
for
do
the
that.
sake of the kids. And they regret it when they became 60 years old and they realized their life is gone when they could have been with Jonathan or
Sally Mae, whoever it was.
Yeah, whoever.
Sometimes it's not even a matter of I've been with this person because I could have been with somebody else. Sometimes, like in my case, it's a matter of hell, I could have been focusing on me.
You could have had peace,
right,
in your life to grow to where you needed to grow to.
And to all those people that say, you know, you can stay together for the kids, but for this age or that age, anytime you got a situation where you have a two-parent household where one or both parties is not happy, there's no foundation.
But and this young lady was gonna come on tonight, but she got shy. But her parents stayed together for them, and her end result is she finds herself settling with the men she's dating. The men she's dating. She said, and the mom, she said her mom was fussing at her or getting on her for staying in this relationship with this guy who was cheating on her and you know, treating her any kind of way, not coming home. And then she said, how can mama tell me that when daddy did the same thing to her? And she was like, so it kind of trickled down, because like they said in the videos, and like George and Skip and Austin both said, the kids are learning that behavior. So now she's out here in the world, 40-something years old, 50 years old, and letting guys treat her like her dad treated her mom. And like Austin said, Austin was one of the few who was able to watch what he saw growing up and dedicate himself to not become a repeater of what he saw. He tried for better, but everybody is not strong like that. Like I had to realize, because I look at what people go through and I'm like, all they had to do was this and that. But then it took me this years old to realize everybody don't think like me. You know, everybody didn't go through what I went through, losing loved ones at a young age, where you have to get out there and I'm not attached to nothing emotionally because I lost everything I loved between being born and maybe 8 years old, 10 years old. So I was like, you know, it don't matter.
Let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
Can you imagine you being a part-time father for Tajay? Can you imagine how he would be developed now?
Man, look, that's why I went to court, because I imagined that.
Because I already know what type of father you are.
And you know what type of mother he had.
Exactly.
Yeah. So wasn't it better for him to leave that situation where he took on the responsibility of raising his child in an environment that was nurturing and caring and provided safety for him?
But how was Tajay when you finally left, though, D?
6.
He was 6. She came.
And I got him that same year, though. I left in February. I went to court. I won him in end of October, early November. So I won him in November.
Right.
Same year. But he went through hell when I left, because she was more like what you had, you know, fussing at him. Why you want to see him? I'm the one who carried you. She was saying all that to a little 5-6-year-old child, man, and he was fearless until that happened, you know, and she just broke his heart, and he became, you know, he was tough until then. When I got him when I won him in court, he was a little crybaby, you know. But before then, you know, he was just a happy-go-lucky, hardcore, happy kid.
Absolutely.
But he would torture him when I wasn't there, and he wanted to be with me.
But she couldn't understand him.
Right, that too.
She didn't have the patience. See.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing. See, I had some things in my past that I probably would not have won custody. So what I did do, I made sure that there was never any possibility of child support not being there. And I wasn't going to be an absentee father. I got them every summer. I got them, we did everything together. But like I say, when they was in her household, they lived under her guidance.
Yeah, and that's how Tajay was when we were doing the when the court handed it down that I was going to be the primary custodian, the custodial parent. When he would go to her house, he didn't have to take baths every night. So when he would get to my house and he figured he can just go to bed, I said, "No, you finna go get in the shower," and it created a problem.
Absolutely,
because he would stay with her for the weekend, or with her for certain holidays or whatever, 4th of July. And then when he stayed that whole week, or when school out, he stayed that whole 2 or 3 weeks. He come home with that. I don't have to clean up. I don't have to put this there. I don't have to take a bath at night. I don't have to go to bed at 10 o'clock. Because he could just do whatever over there, because her mind was occupied on her thing was, he's in my house, so I'm doing my parenting duty.
There was no structure.
Yeah, and, see,
No structure.
and that's where a good co-parenting relationship is supposed to be helpful. That's why both parents have to be on the same page.
Yeah, and I'll say this. I've always talked about my ex-wife and how he's an awesome co-parent. We on the same page. So we make sure, as far as our son goes, we agree. We discuss things. So that's why my 14-year-old is doing so well. You know, we're going to make sure.
Let the Ray speak right quick. Go ahead, Ray.
It depends on the woman. It depends on the mate that you have. Because when I was growing up as a kid, my mother wasn't ready to be a mother, but my dad was working 2 jobs, take care of the kids. My mama was out in the streets. So what I saw was my dad at home taking care of business, and he was working 2 jobs. And my mama was in the streets. He had to go look for her. So what I'm saying is, nowadays you have to look at who it is you're dating or who you're married to. Because oftentimes it could be, I don't like D, or I don't like George, or I don't like this, so because I don't like him, I'm going to do this to the son, or I'm going to do this to get back at the child, blaming the dad. And so the kid grows up not knowing what side to be on. So, like D said, he comes home in my house, don't take no bath, no structure, wants to do what he wants to do. Well, we know the man is known for structure. He go to mama house, I eat pizza in the bed, I leave my bowl of cereal, I leave milk on the dresser, or I leave my shoes. See, there's no balance, there's no structure. And see, it goes back to the mate. If the mate is still in love with you, it don't make a difference. She ain't, she gonna make hell for you, make it hell. And we can't blame the kid. You know, it comes back to what my man said, co-parenting. Co-parenting one-on-one. You know, go ahead, Doc.
Let me say a little bit about me and D's situation, because I know D. See, the problem with D's ex-old lady, she saw his life was elevating. She couldn't stand it, see. D is a somebody ambassador. People, hey, she knew at any given time, half her foot was out the door already.
Right.
And that he was a valuable stand-up man that was gonna be all right regardless. So all her power was stripped from her. And in my situation, when I found my mate and my life started elevating and my money started growing and I bought a house, it wasn't nothing but hatred. You see what I'm saying? It ain't no way she was gonna let me get them kids. You know what I'm saying? With another woman.
Right.
Even though she knew she couldn't raise him like he could, it was the fact she just didn't want him to have him. She didn't want him, and she didn't want him to have him either. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Just like you keep it a buck, Kurt, I'm gonna keep it a buck. She didn't want him, and she didn't want you to have him either.
Absolutely. Because, see, I get all the credit that, hey, I told you what you was when we broke up. Now it's evidence. You see what I'm saying? And she can't accept that. So the reason I say I would have stayed until they got a decent age, I would have suffered, man, just to make sure that they were stable.
And George, the reason he's saying that is because he realized what he had, what he married, what he procreated with. And as a man, once you realize that, and it may not have been that in the beginning, but he realized, like Austin said, we made a mistake. So to right that mistake, he would suffer. And Bo Rock, women was after Bo Rock.
Yeah.
Had money in his pocket, popular, nice looking, one of the best dressers in whatever area he went in. So getting women wasn't a problem. He would have turned all of that down and creeped and all that just to see those younger kids get the same respect, praise, and dedication of his life as the older kids
to get that same fair shake, man.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, man, I got one son, D. He a junior at Grambling and won't finish. 25 years old. Working at Lowe's. For a part-time at Lowe's. I got a 24-year-old, Corey, my baby son. He working at Sam's, stocking overnight for $20 an hour. When I'm trying to get him, look, man, further your education. Your brothers already showed you. Courtney make $150K. He's a computer programmer for the Walmart Corporation. That's my middle son. Justin, he worked for a Dallas County Health Department. He's a what do you call it? Not an event planner, but he's a council planner for the health department at Dallas County. He make over $100K, and he just married an actress. And Courtney's wife, all of them are living upscale lives, man. Now my daughter, she's got 6 kids. She elected to stay in Bastrop. And my daughter Cassidy, you know, D, she was on her way to golfing career.
Yeah, golf.
And Rose ruined that by trying to sleep with the coach. And she just ruined it. Because she was on her way, man. So, you know, she just had a lot of stuff on development, just a lot of stuff she hadn't dealt with. That's why I wanted to be right there in the pocket to make sure that they develop, man.
Right.
And once they
now you see what he's saying, George. You get where he coming from, George. I understand your situation.
They can make a choice for themselves. Well, hey, I want to go live with my dad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you clarifying that for me. Thank you.
You know, I'll go live with my dad because I know what I'm getting. See what I'm saying? Man, they had so many pizza points, they didn't even have to buy pizza no more. That means she quit cooking. See? And she was a great cook. You know, and then the kids always wanted to come to my house. And why y'all don't ever want to do nothing in my house? Because they really don't like you like that. Because you always, I'm tired. How you ain't never not tired? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Man, listen, it's hard to, no matter how upbeat you are, and your mate, you can't keep picking your mate up if they got stuff going on, bro. And you ain't got enough education, stamina not to keep picking them up, bro. Mm-hmm. So all I know is that there's a significant difference in my two sets of kids, and I know why. And they know why. Right. And so my latter years, man, I'm just trying to push them through. And we all working on solutions, trying to get them to that next. COVID should have taught everybody, man. You got to get to that next level, bro. If you ain't trying to elevate your life, you finna be victimized. 2025, what we got coming, you ain't even seen what's coming yet, man. Mm-hmm. And so I worry for those three. My daughter Cassidy, she's a mother now, D. She got a little boy. Okay. 20 years old. So she got pregnant on a hookup. Why? Because that's what she saw her mama doing. You don't have to set standards. You can just have a guy and be friends with benefits, right? So that's a get out of jail free card for any guy. As soon as he see that, oh, I don't really want no relationship. We just hooking up, okay? You gonna get what you get.
I know that broke your heart though.
Absolutely. Because she has so much potential. So much potential.
And that's what I was explaining. I was talking to a lady the other day who was saying that, well, actually, the lady was saying, the girl, whatever, was saying that since she was pregnant, I think she's probably 22, and her mom talks down to her. Her mom don't support her like talking about anymore. And I'm like, I understand that because your mom has so much hope and saw the potential in you. And though you can say once you have that child, you can go to school, still work because you're 22. That ain't always the case because that child can come here with a disability.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? And so that's gonna stunt that. The dad may not step up and be in the light. So now there's more money that if you do have to go out and work, anything can stop at education. It's easy to say, well, I can go online. That's so easy to say. Absolutely. But when you're actually raising a child, anything can happen. You may not get that full potential. And 83% of them don't get that once they have that child. It's very few who go ahead and be successful while still being a successful parent.
And then that kid finna go up single parent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then if you do bring another guy into the kid's life, you still got a baby daddy who might not like this nigga. Now you got a whole nother set of issues to deal with. And that's exactly Cassidy's situation. So just saying you and this dude ain't finna be together, right? So as soon as you start bringing another nigga, hey, I don't want that nigga around my son.
Yeah.
See, you create a problem that you don't even know you got. And so there's a way to do this thing, man. And when you try to teach them, when you try to guide them, and then you got to fight their mom just trying to get her to use common sense, man. Bro, for somebody so educated, I've never seen a woman so dumb in my life, man. Bro, that's why I've been trying to get in touch with you, man. We got so much, I got so much shit to tell you, bro.
Man, I don't even think, because I actually, especially when we first connected, I learned so much from you on how to be a husband, how to be, well, not a husband because I wasn't married, but how to be a how to treat, because you know I was hell out there.
Absolutely.
You kind of toned me down. You respected hold up. Okay, yeah, you brought me you knew how to get to me. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause we was just supposed to strictly just be business. Let's do the CD, DVD, boom, boom, boom. But you knew how to approach me, and you taught me how to be a better man per se, and then you really taught me how to be a father, a more productive father, because I wasn't ready, okay, and I was building my career. I was going up and up, so I didn't have time. I was in the streets, man, 24/7. I wasn't at the house. You get what I'm saying? And it took me watching how you maneuver. You still was able to go to work. You still spent time with the kids. You still spent time with the wife. Because I was like, how is he doing all of this? And so that's why I came over so much and watched. And I would go home and try things. Then we ended up double dating, hanging out, you know.
Absolutely.
Because you were trying to bring me in to structure me on, let me see what he's doing. And then the next 2 days, we had a long conversation on how I acted, what, you know, my moves, you doing good, blah, blah. Because you saw my situation and you was like,
so well.
Yeah.
I remember so well, D. I knew so well how you felt about Tajay. And I get emotional now, man, because I still remember those moments, man. And I remember how you felt about your son. And once you learn how to, once I told you, man, just give him the patience.
I didn't have patience at all.
I said, cause he wants you to understand him just like you want to understand him. And but think about it though, once you said, damn, man, you're right. Once you listen, man, everything changed, man.
It did.
Everything changed.
Because Rev, I thought I knew it all, Rev. And my focus, I got caught up on securing my future. Okay, so I really didn't care about what I had around me, whether it's the woman, whether it's the kid that needed extra attention. I was like, man, I'm making this money, I'm doing this and that and that. It's like I'm throwing shows, man. I got over 1,000 people paying $10 to get in the party every time I throw something. I'm 23, 24 years old, making 100, you know, 100K at you know a year over that back in way back in the gap early, you know, 2000, and it was like you can't tell me nothing, and I didn't take time, but it took me meeting that man right there who had his family structure together at the time, and our run, his family was together, stable for at least 5 years of me knowing him. And I admired how he moved. I admired his come up, you know, and I just sat back because I didn't talk to people. And it was something about him. I don't know what it was. I know we had the same interests in music and videos, making DVDs and stuff, but I don't even make friends. I ran solo. This dude knew how to come in and you know, he became.
I just talked to him. He was like a brother to me.
And I didn't do that. I didn't do that, Rev. I didn't let people in my world. He somehow snuck in there and he made me a better person.
Right. Now I remember Wayne. I remember Wayne back in Bastrop over on Alvin Street. And over there, he was making music. He was the man over there. Let's be honest about it. He was the man over there. Absolutely. He had Bastrop on fire. Bastrop was ready to take off because of him. Absolutely. So, you know, that ain't no lie. Anybody think it's a lie, that's no lie. So, you know, and I was always proud to call him my friend because I used to be over there on the next street over on Charlene Street. But yeah, I done been by Black's house before, and I done seen the way the man moved. The man, he was moving smooth, even then, and wasn't no drop off nowhere. He you know, he was handling his business. Wasn't no crowd in his house. He didn't have no foolishness, and when it was time to shut it down, he shut it down. So somewhere along the line, and now we know, thanks God for you being there, being in the gap. Now we know that it was you, and it was God putting it in you to help him. So now we know that. And so from my heart, I want to thank you for being there for my friend.
He did that.
You know,
I have to give him his props because I met him at the right time. You know what I'm saying? Because I was going out to Atlanta at the time. I was back and forth to North Carolina. I was on the move, and but to see him in a grounded family setting made me realize what I was doing wrong, what I needed to try. And like I say, he invited me to hang with him. He invited us to hang with him. So he saw where I was just, you want to do this, you want to be there, but you just ain't there yet. You know what I'm saying? So he made me come all the way down and made me focus on what I was doing. Him and Huey Bradshaw. I give a lot to Huey Bradshaw because they looked at how I had good intentions, but I didn't understand my son.
Yeah.
Right.
And they made me kind of step out of the limelight and say, okay, now you got this son, and he needs your attention because you chose to procreate with his mother.
Yeah.
Right.
He's gonna need somebody like you to keep him grounded, to help him
You
elevate to the next
you
level.
already know she couldn't give it to him.
She couldn't do it. And I didn't see that because I didn't expect to have a child like that with her. You get what I'm saying?
The thing is, we expect because it's the mom, she's supposed to have these parenting skills because she's a mother.
Right.
She's supposed to have this motherly love that automatically somehow she's supposed to know how to treat this kid. And if this kid is special needs and needs special needs, she ought to be the one that know that more so than the father. Well, that just wasn't the situation in his case. I saw that early on. See? And I said, hey, man, this dude here, I said, he got to learn patience to that kid. And if he learned patience, I said, all he got to do is learn how to communicate. Once he learn how to do, soon as he learn his patience, Tajay gonna be all right. See? And so, you know, I grew up in a dope house. And I knew when I grew up, I wanted a different type of life for my kids. And the last thing I wanted was for them to grow up in a broken home. And so when my last three had to grow up in a broken home, I tried to do the best I could, but I could see the difference. There's just a huge difference, man.
Yeah, and listen to you tell that story, and it's probably gonna stay on my mind forever. I know that hurts. I know that hurts.
Listen, man. Hey, I have restless nights. I do.
Yeah, because you blame yourself.
Yeah. But she still thinks she still, hey, listen, she still thinks she did a great job. That's the killer part. Because she said, well, I did my best. Well, what if your best wasn't good enough? What if? Have you ever considered that maybe you just took their choice away from them? Somebody got to think about if you ain't doing it for the kids, what are you doing? Because their development is so crucial. That's why right now, man, we got so many kids, running around in Boston, ain't got no guidance, no structure.
Oh, man. And they killing each other left and right.
And they killing each other left and right, man. And it's sad. It's so sad, man.
I had to get away. Kurt. When they started shutting the schools down, I had to get away.
Where you at now, D?
I'm in Georgia.
You live in Atlanta?
Been out here, man, since 2020.
No shit. I got a brother in Atlanta, man. In Stockbridge, Georgia.
Man, I'm about maybe 20, 30 minutes from Stockbridge. I'm in Conyers, Covington, Conyers.
Man, listen, I'm telling you, man, my brother got some of the, man, you would love to hang out. He got some of the coolest people, man. He don't mess with, I'm gonna hook you up with my brother. He don't mess number with good people, good food, man. All his buddies, ex-military, got money. Man, I was just out there for his retirement party, man. And it was 20 of us, surprised him for a retirement party. We all showed up at a restaurant, all his buddies, all his families. My father was there, 92. My father, 87 years old. And we was all sitting there with the menu over our face. And his daughters walked him in. He thinking that because it's his birthday the same weekend.
Right.
And he think they taking him to dinner. And we all said, we let the menus down, man, and say surprise. Oh my goodness, he just cried like a baby, man. And it was so amazing, man. But he got one partner, man, paid for that whole table, man. I mean, he just got good. He been alcohol clean for the last 15 years, man. And he surrounded himself with good people, man, got his shit together. And he living really nice out there, man.
I DJ'd a graduation party in Stockbridge.
Wow.
I actually DJ'd 2 parties in Stockbridge.
How Tajay doing, man?
Man, he good. He good. Living it up.
That is awesome, bro.
Oh, yeah.
But man, listen, my kids are doing pretty good. They ain't none of them not doing, they ain't bums,
right?
But they just got so much potential, man. And they're so smart. That's the thing. They got natural intelligence. And they won't finish it. Now, my daughter, she's still in college. But them 2 younger boys, man.
Yeah.
I'm pushing them all the time, man.
Yeah, pushing, but on the same note, just kind of, have that talk and just, long as you tell them, but whatever they decide to do, just support them, bro.
I know.
That's all you can do. Because you don't want it to be like, damn, there go dad, or I disappointed dad. So just kind of,
you got to know when to step back.
Yeah. And it's hard because I saw how hard you pushed them 2 oldest ones though, them 2 boys. I saw you on their ass, bro. They couldn't breathe. I'm just gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it a buck because you knew their potential. You didn't let them breathe, and then I'll never forget when you Courtney, I think the not Justin, the one under Justin, when you heard his feelings. Something he did, man, and he thought he did something, and you shut him down so quick, and you hurt his feelings. But you was telling the truth. You was keeping it a buck. But I said, yeah, because you was hell on him because he was actually smarter a little. His potential was a little smarter than Justin, and you saw that.
Absolutely.
Keeping it buck, you saw that. Absolutely. But he just didn't. He just felt like he couldn't outdo Justin, and you was like, "Come on, man, you the man," But he didn't want to outdo his brother, man, and you stayed on it. But I'm glad to hear that they doing good.
They doing so well, man, and they treat me so good, man. They're so good to me. I got a nice house over here in Fort Worth, Texas, man.
Okay.
I got a nice crib. I've been over here 17 years now.
17. Yeah, I remember when you left.
Yeah.
And I think you got my new number. I think. What number you have for me?
Let's see.
Just give me the last 4 digits.
Okay.
Because I think I gave it to you. I shot you a text a long time ago. Like 2017, 2018. That's the last time I remember us texting. You was in Bastrop, and I think you was at that lady house that you was cool with. And I came by there on the dead end street.
All I got is 1849.
That's it. Yeah,
884-1849.
that's it.
Okay, then I got you, man.
Okay. But yeah, we was at that lady house. She was cooking. Some lady you was cool with on a dead end street. That was the last time we hung out. I think y'all used to work together or something. She was cooking and we went over her house. I'm thinking it was a dead end street. You know who I'm talking about? A dark skinned older lady that you was cool with. Y'all was just cool. Y'all worked together and she could cook. She was always cooking, and you used to be over a house. It was a yard party or something that y'all had going on, and it was a lot of us over there hanging out. Y'all was grilling, and she could cook real good. She cooked greens and all that stuff that night. You kind of remember that? It was the last time we hung out.
Damn, D, I'm trying to remember.
You had just moved to Dallas, and you came home for like the weekend to do something, and you hung out at this lady's house. She was a dark-skinned older lady. I don't know, I can't remember her name. And it was on a dead-end street. Wasn't that far from California stop, somewhere over in that area. Man, you gotta know this lady, man, because y'all was super cool and you was trying to get me to know her. I can't think of that lady name. Miss Brown or something. I can't think of that lady name. You didn't come on now, Kurt. White House. It was a White House down a dead end street, I think, and it was the only place that you hung out at, and it was a house party. And you and her was just cool because I think Rose showed up that night. You had just came in town for a second. You had just moved. You was in town. It was something. I don't know if it was your birthday or what, but everybody was over there.
Damn.
When you walk in the house. It was her living room, and then her kitchen was like next to that. It was a dead end street. It was a White House. She had a little porch, I think. And on the side is where you all was barbecuing and everything at. The grill was there. She had a little backyard, a lot of trees or whatever was in the back. Come on now, Kurt, man.
Oh, you got me, man.
Dude.
Damn.
It ain't too many women that you was cool with like that, where Rose and everybody would come over to the house and hang out.
Oh, see, my grandmother lived down there, but
no, it wasn't your grandmama. This was somebody that either you had worked with or you was cool with. Older lady. She probably about 70 or 80 now. She probably about 80.
Oh, somebody I mess with, man.
If you say the name, I'll know. You know where California stop at, right?
Oh, where California stop at?
The gas station, like by the red light when you get into Bastrop.
Oh, you talking about them Smiths. Had to be them Smiths.
It's like when you on your way to Bastrop, the street you turn on is on your left. And if they it's like a dead end street,
yeah,
her house is on the right.
Yeah, the Smiths.
Yeah, and you was real cool with them. I'm thinking if you needed somewhere to lay your head.
That was my people.
Okay.
That was my people, yeah.
And she could cook. The lady could cook.
Absolutely,
she was a good cook.
Yeah, that's my people.
Okay, if you needed somewhere to lay your head, that's the house you went to when you came in town.
Yeah, that
was
my people.
Yeah, I remember that. And because I remember I stopped what I was doing. I think I had a gig or something that night, and I came by there and I hung out with you until I went to the gig. But yeah, that was our last time, and I think I had just met who I'm with now when we did that.
Well, you know, I had married again. I married this real pretty chick named Natasha, and I moved out here, and me and her stayed together about 5 years. And then I left her, and we split up, and I married a white girl. Well, I've been with this white girl.
Boy, you crazy. You saying too much on this podcast.
I've been with, hey, man, shit. My life went, everything went that way. But it wasn't even about her colors, just who she was as a person. She just was too cool, man.
Well, you got my number, so you know how that we finna start chatting.
Absolutely,
so
man.
and you know I'm still the text man, so but we
Hey, man.
we go chat now.
Hey, man, I'm glad when I saw this podcast, I said, "Oh man, I got to jump on that, man."
Now I need you to give your final thoughts because it's been mixed. It's been mixed. And majority of the people saying haul ass and get out of it as you saw. Peep this one.
Don't stay for them kids. I know there's a lot of people out there right now and you're staying for no other reason than the fact that you have children together. Children are no reason to suffer. You bet not stay for them kids. Because what's going to happen is you're going to dedicate another 10 to 15 years to that man, to that relationship, or to that woman that you don't want to be with. And then you'll be out of touch. You'll be out of decent dating pools. Don't stay for them kids. Them kids are going to grow up and live lives of their own. Don't stay for them kids. Them kids might grow up and not even like you the way that you fighting for them. Them kids might not fight for you. Don't you stay for them kids. Never let that reason that you be in that relationship is for them children, because they will grow up. They will grow up. And they will learn that all relationships are not forever. Don't you stay for them kids. And I know there's so many of y'all right now. You're staying because of the time that you have invested. You're staying because of the kids you have invested, but you're not happy. And that's what life is about. Don't you stay for them kids. I'm gone.
So, you know, and this, hearing your story, I got, you know, mixed feelings about it, but I was blessed enough to get out of mine and go to court and win mine.
Absolutely.
So that's the difference in mine. And you know, before I went, everybody was telling me, it ain't no way you gonna win that and win no child in court. It ain't no way you gonna win against a woman down here in court. But man, I just prayed about it. And I got Richard Fuel, and I went up in there, and we did. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't prove unfit or none of that. I just proved, like you said earlier, a better living environment. I went and studied the courses and took everything I needed to take and had proof. You know, families helping families and all that stuff, and I won mine. So staying in that though, it wasn't. I couldn't do it. Because like I was telling you, trying to stay there, you know, I was sleeping on the couch, and when she would touch me, man, it would hurt me up in here. It was pain. And I was like, I just can't do it, you know? And but I messed up, and I asked the creator before all of this, because I was just sitting there thinking about what I wanted to do, what's next for me. And I said, I asked creator, let me know if this person is the right one for me. And I advise so many people, don't do a sincere prayer and ask that question if you're not ready for the answer. Because when I said that prayer, when I tell you everything down to how they walk, how they talk, what they eat, how they breathe, you don't like, he's going to show you, you know what I'm saying? And it's up to you whether you're going to stay in there. And then I wasn't going to be one who leave and then go back like so many other brothers do. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I made sure that when I done that, my move was to get away. And then being that I walked by faith since 2000. So being that I walk by faith, because if you walk by sight, you would never try anything. If you walk by looking at your bank account, you're not going to take any risk. Yeah, no risk at all. So being that I walk by faith, I just knew, you know, I was confident enough that I wasn't going to lose. So I went in there and you know, and I won, and I've been blessed, you know, ever since. So
that's awesome, man.
So
see, you have matured so much, man, and see, it started a long time ago, man. It's been how old Tajay now?
24, 23, 24.
So at 6 or 7 years old, your maturity started to set in. You started changing, man.
Right.
And it became very apparent. And it was you couldn't grow, you couldn't do nothing but go up. You know. And so,
but you know what? My true blessings came when I got out that relationship, bro.
I can believe that.
When I got out that relationship. And that's why I preach to so many people. Who you're with can stunt your growth.
Absolutely.
It can stunt your blessings, whether you want to believe it or not. Because if that person's evil or don't mean you are nobody no good, he's not going to bless you because you're going to bless them, and he don't want them to get blessings. And so once I realized that, man, I'm telling you,
well,
when I got out of that
they in
situation,
the way of your blessings.
when I got out of that, man, it's been selling ever since, man.
You saw, hey man, listen. You saw how hard I worked at the mill. You saw I burned CDs, DVDs, all that hustling, man. At the end of the year, I looked in the bank account. I had zero monies.
You knew something had to change.
I had zero monies, man. You go.
I used to see you come home, man, with so much money in that bag, bro. The people at the mill was hating on you because you making more money than they make on their paycheck, by selling CDs in 3 or 4 days.
D, I used to come home and then see the car. Car gone. I drive right out to Lucky's and I see the car parked at Lucky's. She out there gambling whole checks off.
Yeah, you went through it, homie. But we gonna touch up on that too. We got a lot of topics, man. I told you the fall I ain't sparing nothing fall through the winter. So you gonna be you probably gonna be a regular on here because I'm gonna be hitting a whole lot of topics that's gonna make you say, let me get on here. But you got my number. Like I say, that's you got my number. Shoot me a text. We're gonna start chatting and everything.
Good to see
but
you
I need
again,
your final thoughts before we shut it down.
Yeah.
On the topic. Should you or should you not? And break it down on both ends. Because you touched up on a little of it all. And shout out to Rev who came on and said his thing. Shout out to Austin. Shout out to Chantel. Shout out to George. Shout out to my boy Skip. But what's your final thoughts? I want to hear Baraka's thoughts on this to some brother out there, a sister out there that's thinking about getting out of a relationship that can be saved.
My final thoughts is make sure that's the final straw, that there's nothing else could be done before you split that family up. If it is at all possible and there's no violence within the household through either party, then you fight for the betterment of your kids, because you break up with them kids just because you can go fix your life and live good. That don't mean whoever got those kids, and if you don't get custody of them, you never know what they're going to go through. And by the time you find out what the damage that they've suffered, it's going to already be too late. And then you're going to be picking up the pieces. And you're going to try to figure out what happened. Well, it's just like if you start building a house and that foundation has to set. You go ahead and start putting up framing that house before that foundation set, the house is going to get cracks in it. And it's just going to be a plethora of problems. So you better make sure that you did all that you could do, both of y'all. If it means, counseling, then get counseling. Family counseling, marriage counseling, relationship counseling. It is imperative that those kids get an opportunity to develop correctly. And if you're not willing to do that, then you never should have had kids. That's just my perspective.
Right.
And I have a lot of, like I say, on-hand experience as to see the difference, because even with us divorcing, my kids still got a pretty decent upbringing. They don't really want for anything. But at the same time, you can tell on which household they reside.
Right.
And the household in which the kid reside, that's where they're going to get the bulk of their understanding of about how a household is ran. And if the proper structure isn't set up, your kids are going to suffer. And then you're going to see it in their personalities. You're going to see it in their personal development. You're going to see it on how they view things in life. They're going to have an elitist attitude that they don't really have to work hard and stay committed to anything, because that's not what they're going to witness when they have a dysfunctional household. And so you willing to bank on that if she's got the kids, that they're going to do the right thing. You banking on that.
Right.
That's a lot to bank on. So you better be in close proximity. Now, if you're in close proximity, you ought to be willing to move next door. just so your kids can get equal time. It's important, especially if you're the stronger parent. You may not think these things don't matter, what I'm talking about, but you need to understand I've thought about this. That's why this subject matter was so important to me, because it touches home on so many levels. And I had thought about this coming and going. And my kids are 40, 41, 38, 25, 24, and 20. Technically, they all grown.
Right.
And I'm still very involved in their development. And helping them get through some of these growing pains, because they just missed out on so much, man. That last group, oh my goodness, man.
Yeah.
So it is a subject that, and they're not bad kids, not at all, because there's some kids out there
way worse
that's got some stuff going on. So
yeah,
I'm grateful.
The fact that all of them working and trying to do something, that's you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's that part of I got to do something, because if I'm doing nothing, I got to hit dad's mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's good, that fear. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I was. We had a discussion, a small discussion on the podcast about, and it's the disciplining the kids, and we were going back and forth, because my thing is, and I'm thinking you the same way, as far as we believe in some type of fear have to be in that child of you for them to do right.
Yeah,
but then they was like, oh, well, that's forced trauma. No, it's not.
No,
if you grew up, your dad was abusive. I grew up under a stern, strict household as well. And I respect my people to this day. I don't sag my pants, I don't curse, but it was that fear created a level of respect.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. And right now, all my older kids is still, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Man, you come to my house, I fix you a plate of food. If you don't say thank you, I take that whole plate and throw it in the trash.
I know you will.
If I've cooked some food and prepared it and offered it to you, and if you just can't say thank you, there's nothing more disrespectful to me.
And you know what, Barack? I had to learn that, because I was with my brother. I was still in high school though, and my oldest brother took me over to some friends of his house. They had cooked dinner for them,
right?
And we were staying with them for the holidays. And he took us over to their house, and they asked I'll never forget this. I probably was about 16, 17, 16. The lady of the house asked, did I want something to eat? You ready to eat? Did you want something to eat?
Yeah.
I asked them what were they having. And I didn't think nothing was wrong with that.
Right.
But my brother chewed me out, man, and he was like, you don't never ask. Either when somebody offers you something, either you accept it or you don't. You don't ask them what they're having because they're offering you something. If you're hungry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I never understood that until he said that, and I'll never forget it. And you see how emotional I said it, because he stopped me in the middle of me, being my jolly, happy self. And I just say, what you got? What you having? And that was disrespect to the lady of the house.
The thing about it, he didn't know about you. You wouldn't eat anybody's food, though.
And you're right. And you're right. But I guess the fact that they knew they weren't going to cook, him and his wife wasn't cooking, so they took us over there. Man, that's all I thought I was doing, Bo Rock. I was like, what they having? You know what I'm saying? but he chilled me out. So I understand the respect of the house now. And I learned that at 16, 17 years old. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, Bo Rock.
Hey, man.
You got me though. Start hitting me up.
I will.
Real text. I'll be free on Fridays and Sundays. So
okay, I'm retired now, man. So I'm just, matter of fact, I'm going to Louisiana for Thanksgiving, and then I'm going over to Atlanta. I'm going over to Arkansas to my son Courtney house for a week, and then I'm gonna go to Chicago after the probably around March. But then my next will probably be out in Atlanta. Definitely when I come out to Atlanta, I'm gonna invite you over, man, because we do it big out there, man.
Y'all do it BIG.
We do it big, man. Like I say, my brother, man, he's got a nice little spread over there, man, and he got some friends, man. All them dudes got that cheese. All of them got double careers and double retirements, man, and 100% in the military, and they just retired the right way.
Okay.
And so he surrounded himself with good people, man, and got rid of the alcohol niggas, and there you go, man. So his life, when he finally shut it down and retired, man, he set his life up well. And so we all just,
I think I met him one time. I'm not sure. I'm thinking this the one that came in and you kind of shut everything down for him. I'm thinking that's him, and I've seen him. Y'all favor a lot.
Yeah, that's my brother Tootie.
Okay, yeah, I met him. I could tell, and he even though you was the big king on the block, he kind of made you look a little humble when he stood around you. I remember that.
Well, see, he just used to be always moving, man. He couldn't, when he was alcoholic, he couldn't be still.
Yeah.
He dropped as soon as he get in town, man, he gone. I don't care how long he been traveling. As soon as he get in town, the quickest he could take a bath, he gone. Cause he was chasing that bottle, man.
Yeah, I remember him now.
Yeah, he much different now, man. He done finally figured it out, man. And so
that's what's up. But yeah, I wouldn't mind meeting up with him, seeing what he got going on. So like I say, shoot me that text, and we're gonna start back chatting. But on that note,
well, hey, you have a good evening, man. Good.
Yeah, we finna shut it down. You too, man. This reunion was tight, man.
Good.
But hit me up.
Good podcast.
Shoot me your text and put your name under it. And I'm sure I got it in my phone somewhere though.
I got you, bro.
All right, hit me up.
Good night.
And on that note, Speak On It podcast. I'm the host, DJ Black. And we out of here. And like we say, it's happening. So we might as well speak on it. And on that note, peace.
What you think, man?
I've been in the polyamory lifestyle. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now. Okay. And the mindset for me is mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it because I've always felt that this like monogamy just doesn't fit for me. But I don't understand why I have to only love one person, or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard supposedly is?
Right.
And then
the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You start thinking about, well, damn, I did this. So, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, this complicates things for us men because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told them, don't do that.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we even thought, why doesn't my father is that a protection for me?
Right.
Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
No, but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time, they are like absolutely. So if we don't understand that, all we know is a rejection.
You see, like what I understand with my father,
men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes black male from the home. That's white women. Because after white was a run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. At one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman. No matter what their social economical status was, white women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, I know, you hit it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. It means I got your back. It means we're doing this together. It means I'm not gonna walk away when things get hard. That's providing, right? I'm gonna provide emotional protection so that you can, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, so there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids. And I was about 25 when I met my ex-husband.